Hey guys, welcome back to Echo and 11. Today we're going to talk about the mid-esophageal two-chamber view in which we will view the left-sided chambers of the heart. In the four-chamber view from last time, we saw all four chambers of the heart, and today we're just going to take a look at the two left-sided chambers. So here, as you can see, we see those two chambers. That's the LA, and down here is the LV. The LA is always going to be closest to your TEE probe, meaning at the top of the image. Coming off the left atrium, we have that left atrial appendage. So here's where you're going to look for clots or thrombi if you're worried about cardioverting a patient who's been in long-standing AFib. And then we see this other structure on the posterior aspect of the heart, and that's going to be our coronary sinus. The coronary sinus is a posterior structure. It runs posterior to the left atrium. Next, if we freeze this image, we'll talk about the walls of the heart. So this is really important to know which walls of the heart you see in which views. It's especially important in this two-chamber view because it is a question that you can definitely get asked on your board exams. Here on the left side of the image, we have the inferior wall. Some people call it the posterior wall of the heart, but most people call it the inferior wall. And as you remember, it's associated with the coronary sinus because that coronary sinus, as I mentioned, is a posterior structure. Opposite from the inferior wall, we have the anterior wall. And like I said, in the two-chamber view, you're always going to see the length of the inferior wall and the length of the anterior wall. And then if you can see right here between our left atrial appendage and the mitral valve right here, this tiny black dot, that's the left circumflex artery. So it's one of our coronary arteries. And it's important because this is a very easy view to see it in. The other important thing about this view is that you can see that left circumflex artery is very close to the mitral valve. So when our surgeons are doing mitral valve repairs, we worry about them kinking this circumflex artery, either throwing a stitch through it or suturing the mitral valve a little too tight and kinking that circumflex artery. And if we kink that circumflex artery, you guys should know that we're going to see lateral wall abnormalities, right? Because the left circumflex supplies the lateral wall of the heart. So as a recap, this is our mid-esophageal two-chamber view. The two chambers are the left-sided chambers of the heart, the left atrium, the left ventricle. Important structures that we see are the left atrial appendage and the coronary sinus. You also should be able to identify the walls of the left ventricle in this view, the anterior wall and the inferior wall. That's it for today, guys. Thanks so much.